Hi guys, I have recently done 10-day Vipassana silent retreat and I decided that I want to make a video about it to share my experience and to kind of maybe help a little bit people who are planning to do that. I have done it in Hong Kong, so I'm planning to divide this video into two parts. In the first part, I'm just going to tell you about the facilities, what to expect, what to take with you, what not to take with you. And in the second part, I'm just going to share my experience. If you're just planning to do the Vipassana, if you have never done that before, I recommend you just watch the first part and do not watch the second one, because everybody's experience is different and you really don't want to have some kind of like expectations. So it's better if you don't watch and don't listen to other people's experience, you know? So let's get it started. First of all, what is the Vipassana retreat? Basically, it's a course where you go for 10 days and you're not allowed to use your phone, you're not allowed to talk to other people, and all you do is meditate for 10 hours every day. The schedule is quite crazy. You wake up at 4 and then from 4:30 to 6:30 you have to meditate. From 6:30 till 8 there's breakfast time and time to wash your stuff or maybe to take a shower, whatever. Then from 8 to 11 there's meditation again. That includes one group sitting, 1 hour group sitting, and then the other time you can meditate in your room or in the meditation hall. Then from 11 to 1 again there's the lunch, and there's also some free time where you can do like rest and do some other stuff that needs to be done. Then again from 1 to 4, from 1 to 5 you will have meditation again. From 5 to 6 there will be tea time, because they don't serve dinner there. So basically tea time, it will be just like some tea with fruit, and we also had some cookies. And then from 6 to 9 there will be meditation again, and then from 9 to 9:30 there will be some time where you could ask teacher some questions. So from 9:30 to 10 you're just preparing for bed, and at 10, if you haven't turned off the light in your room, somebody will come and turn them off. So basically it's time when you will sleep. And honestly, it's not early because you'll be ready to go to bed by that time, since you're waking up at 4 every day, which is early and kind of crazy, honestly, because I don't know anyone who wakes up at 4. I know some people who go to bed at 4, but not who wakes up at 4. I mean, yeah, that was a little crazy, but still, it really like at the end you understand why they create this schedule and why there are certain rules. So about the facilities, I knew that the facilities there will be pretty basic, and they send you an email after the registration that includes things that they suggest you should take. You know, I'm gonna attach the picture here. And actually there are some things that they include in this list that you don't really need. So one of those things is the torch or the flashlight. In the email it was there, and I didn't have one, so I was planning to buy it, and I texted them back like asking a few questions, and they said you don't need it. You don't need the torch because the lighting is okay. I was like, fine. Well, another thing that was included there was umbrella. So I carried my umbrella from Nanjing to Hong Kong, which is like 2.5 hour flight, you know, with me. And then in the end I didn't need it, because they had the public umbrellas that like you could use when there is a rain and stuff, and there was rain almost like every day because it's summer here and it rains a lot. And the place where it's located is kind of like in the mountains, so the clouds, they would kind of go very fast, and like 1 second it's just blue sky and the other second it would just like rain like crazy, you know. Another thing, they recommend that you take your sleeping bag or mattress and pillow, like all the beddings, you know. But actually I thought that there will be just like a hard wooden bed, you know. So I don't really like sleeping on the hard surfaces. So I took with me a big duvet, like the one that is for 2 people. And what I did, I just put half on the bed, and then I covered myself with a half because I didn't want to carry like a lot of stuff. But in the end, when I arrived, I found out that there's actually a nice mattress there, and it's pretty soft, you know. So here's a quick video for you so you have a better idea. This is me on the way from the dining hall. The doors on the left are other dormitories. And look how beautiful this orchid is. I loved it a lot. So pretty. Anyway, on the right there was stairs that take you up to the Tama hall. This is my roommate. On the right here you can see the umbrellas that everybody could use. And yeah, one umbrella is broken there. Anyway, this is the place where you hand wash your clothes and then hang them to dry. You'll say that, hey, there are washing machines, why not use them? Well, they're out of service. So here we enter the room, and there are actually there were 4 bathrooms in our room, and this is very convenient because there was 7 of us, and it would be a disaster if there was just 1 bathroom. So that's what the room looks like. As you can see, there are some mattresses, and this is the bathroom for people with disabilities. And you can just take like a small blanket with you and a pillow. I didn't take the like big pillow. I used my oh my god, travel pillow, you know, the one that you put over your neck, this one, and it was also fine, you know. And also you don't even have to take those, because when I arrived at the reception, they offered me a list of things that I could actually like rent or buy, whatever, and that included some like bedding stuff, and it included the sleeping bag, the earplugs, what else was there, mosquito repellent, toilet paper, and I think some toiletries as well, you know. So I was bringing all of that stuff, even like toilet paper, you know, I was bringing with me from Nanjing, because I didn't know if I'll have time to buy that in Hong Kong. And I think it would be nice to know that I didn't have to, and I could have just bought it there. It would have made things just easier, you know what I mean? Yeah, this is one thing. What else? The facilities are actually, they are basic, but they're pretty nice. There's like everything that you need. So basically, there's a kitchen, and in the kitchen you will get your own, like everybody gets a like small set. It's a plate, it's a bowl, cup, I want to say quite chopsticks, and the spoon, you know. And so this is stuff yours for the whole course. After the meal, you just go ahead, wash it yourself, and then put it back at your place. So here's the dining hall. You can see some people there, and also you can see these plates and cups on the tables. And yeah, very basic, but has everything that you need. And this is the outside. On the left there is a door to the canteen, and this is the place where you would wash your stuff. And this is also my friend. And there's like a small garden or something, but we're not allowed to go there. Everybody has a place assigned in the canteen and in the meditation hall and in the room as well, which is actually very nice. And this way you don't disturb others, and you just kind of keep yourself to yourself, you know. And this is actually nice, and a lot of things are done there to not disturb others, kind of stuff. Anyway, as far as the washing goes, you can hand wash your stuff, and you can hang it to dry, you know, air dry, sun dry. It wasn't really possible to sun dry it because it would rain often, you know, and sometimes you're in the meditation session, and there were some meditation sessions where you're not allowed to leave the hall, and would start to rain, and yeah, you'd have to dry the stuff again. But there is also the stuff where you can dry it under the roof, which was fine actually, you know. So this is one of the doors in our room. You just exit, and you can see the place where you could hang your clothes and yeah, sun dry them, which was very, very nice and convenient. Look how pretty the sky is. And there was this huge spider. Oh my god, this is the first time in my life I saw a spider that huge, but it didn't bother us. I would recommend you take some clothes that are very, very thin, you know. I had one t-shirt that was made of cotton, I think, and it was like super thin, and it would dry very fast, you know. It's very convenient. And don't take too many clothes, you know. I've got 3 pair of pants, the ones that I arrived in, and 2 more. And one of them I used to sleep in, you know, just like a pajamas. So I would just change them. And the shirts, I've got 3 or 4, I think. With shirts, it was I suggest you take more, like maybe 3 or 4 would be enough, because you have to change them every day, sometimes twice a day. Well, it was in the summer, it was in July when I did the Vipassana, so it's really hot, and sometimes when you spend even a short time outside, you would sweat, and by the end of the day, the shirt doesn't feel so fresh, you know what I mean? And I just don't like this feeling, so I would recommend you take like 4 or maybe even 5 t-shirts. What else? As far as the organization goes, it was fine. It was good. As I mentioned earlier, you are not allowed to talk to the people who are also taking the course. However, you are allowed to talk to the managers if you have some problems, and you are allowed to talk to the teacher, because there's some time when you can ask questions about the technique, whether it's working or not working for you, whether you're doing the things correctly and stuff. So yeah, I think that's about it as far as the organization goes. About the room, you'll get bed with the mosquito nets, you'll get a small like the shelves to keep your stuff. And in my room we had 7 people, but 2 more beds were empty. And they did actually a really good job, because they put people of different ages together. So our room was just kind of like a young girls room, because all the people were there from 19 to 32, I think. So it's still kind of like, I feel like some of the teenagers might be watching and they would be just like, so old. But no, it kind of gave this like young people vibe, you know what I mean? And they would put middle-aged women together, and the older women together as well, and also the old students, the students who did the Vipassana more than once, at least once, they were also in another room. And I think it was a really good idea, because this way it's easier to match the like lifestyle, because similar age people, they have like the similar lifestyle, you know, even though everybody has to follow the same schedule during these days, but still, you know. And another thing, that men and women are separated. So the only time we saw men is at the very beginning. On the first day there is like orientation kind of thing, and the course is 10 days, but actually it's 12 days, because you arrive on the first day, which is called like day 0, at around 2, from 2 to 5, I think. Then at 5 there is orientation. They show you where everything is, and that's when we also saw men, because there was some like presentation in the hall what this thing is going to be about, you know. And then from the day 1, like on this day 0, that's when after the first meditation you go quiet, you know, you don't talk to other people. So from the next day everything starts like this, waking up at 4 and whatever. And then at the end, like on the 10th day, after the meditation in the morning, you're allowed to talk, but still you have to do some meditation. But it was honestly very hard, because you feel very like overwhelmed and too excited to talk, and when you start meditating, it's hard. And the guy in the videos who was on whose lectures and audios the whole course is based, he said that chatting and meditation cannot go together, and this is true actually. It's getting hot. I'm gonna turn on the AC. I hope it's not gonna be too loud on the video. Anyway, yeah, and then so this is day 10, and then on day 11 is when you have one more meditation, breakfast, and then you clean everything, and then you go, you know. So 10 days of like the complete silence, and this the 0 day and the very last day, the day 12, they're actually also included. So you have to plan accordingly, you know. So yeah, that's when we saw the men. And then in the meditation hall, we also saw them, but they were like separated, they said, in another part of the meditation hall. And only on the last day we were able to talk and stuff. And I also think it's a good idea because you don't get like distracted and whatever, because when you are in everyday life, even though what do you want to say? I mean, when you see other people and you're allowed to like talk to them or communicate with them, you're really kind of a different person, if you know what I mean, you know, like when you keep yourself to yourself, it's just like you do whatever you want. But on the last day when we started talking to each other, I've noticed that I'm already kind of like trying to build my own picture in their eyes, you know what I mean, to kind of show what kind of person I am. And you kind of think about stuff, oh, what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna say and stuff. But during these 10 days you I don't want to say you don't care about others, you still like make sure that they're not disturbed and stuff, but you don't really care like what they think about you, because not only you're not allowed to speak, you're also not allowed to communicate in terms of like gestures or even the eye contact, you know. There was one girl from Russia, and when you live abroad, especially in China, whenever you meet people from the post-Soviet Union, like because I'm originally from Kazakhstan, or just other foreigners, you know, but especially from post-Soviet Union, because we all speak Russian there, you feel like they're your family, you know, kind of stuff. And so on the first day we talked a little bit, and so after that we talked after that, and she was like, yeah, I felt the same way. We felt like we're best friends and we have to kind of like look after one another and stuff, you know. And sometimes it was awkward because another thing, you're not allowed to do any sports, you know, and other techniques. You're not allowed to mix them together, but you're allowed to walk. There's like the territory where you can walk. It's not like far away, but still. So this is the limited territory where we were allowed to walk, where the ladies are standing. This is the entrance to the meditation hall. Then there's this fence, so beautiful mountains here. So we were allowed to walk from that fence that you just saw to this white wall right there. Pretty limited, but still better than nothing. And so when we would walk, we would see each other, we would try to avoid like eye contact and kind of smile, and it would be like so awkward and weird, you know, but it was fine. Yeah, what else? What I recommend you to take, and I wish I would have taken, is something, first of all, is a watch, because in the meditation hall, there was a watch, but it was somewhere like far where the teacher sits, well, which wasn't actually very far, but I have a bad eyesight and I couldn't see it, and the watch wasn't like very bright, you know. And it's really helpful to keep an eye on the time, because first, I think 2 days, I would come to the meditation hall, and when you don't have any distractions around, it's really hard to feel the time, you know. I mean, when you're at work, I teach, and I know that like one class is about 1 hour, you know. So when the class is over, that means an hour is over. Or when you're like doing something at home or watching a movie, you know that movie is like 2 hours. So when the movie is over, 2 hours is over, right? But when you meditate, it feels very weird, you know, like the way you feel the time is super weird, because I would be just like sitting and I'm just like, okay, how much time has passed? Like, was it 5 minutes? Was it half an hour? Was it 2 hours? And when the meditation session is over, like how much time do we have? I don't know about others. Some people say that it's helpful for them because this way they can just focus on meditation until they hear the bell. And you would say like, how do you know when it's time to do something? There will be a bell every time, like there is another thing to do, like a bell for waking up, a bell for having breakfast, for meditation, for everything, you know, so, and you can't miss it. But for me, it was very frustrating because I was just like, I don't know, like I need to know like how much time is left, you know, or past, whatever. So I noticed that on the first day, some of the ladies, they got the headphones with a phone, and I realized that some of the people who don't speak English or Cantonese, they got the headphones with the recording in their mother language, you know. So I was like, okay, I need one too. So I went to the manager. I asked her, like, can I get the set of headphones? I want to listen in Russian as well. She said no problem. She gave me one. I tried to listen once, but it was very weird, you know, because first of all, you had to kind of sync this audio in your headphones to the audio that teacher plays for everyone, you know, because the one that teacher plays, it goes like English, Cantonese, English, Cantonese. So the guy, his name is Goenka, he says something in English and then it is translated into Cantonese, you know. So it was very hard to sync these two. And second, I just didn't like the voice of the lady who was speaking in Russian, and it kind of sounded very fake, you know, because the guy, like the Goenka, he speaks in English, and whatever he says, it's like very natural, you know. He would say like, you need to keep your attention on the area below your nostrils, above the upper lip, below your nostrils, above the upper lip, you know, and it would sound like normal, like he's trying to give more attention to this part. But in the Russian version, it was so like plastic and fake. She would be like, focus your attention on the area below the nostrils, below the nostrils. I don't know, I still feel a little bit like weird about it anyway. But I was this is not the reason why I actually asked for a phone with headphones. I wanted to try to listen to it in Russian, but also I wanted to check the time on the phone, and it was super helpful, honestly. This is not the phone where you can play stuff, because it's like controlled by some kind of app that does not allow you exit the app with the audio, but it was very useful to check the time, you know. So I recommend you take your own watch with you. It would be very great. Another thing, try to come up with some kind of thing that shows your progress, you know, because 10 days, it's not very easy, you know, without talking to other people and stuff. It is good, you know, but it's not easy, especially on like day 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what I did, there was this place where we walked, and I would put like one of my feet after another, and I counted. It was 170 steps, you know. So I was like, okay, 170 divided by 10, it's 17. So 17 steps every day. And I would just take 17 steps every day. I would kind of look back, and I was just like, okay, this is how much I have done already, and this is how much is left, you know. And it sounds a little weird maybe, but it is very helpful, very, because this way you kind of visualize your results. Because for this course, I feel like you don't get the results, you don't feel the results until the course is finished, kind of thing. You can do whatever. Some people, they would play with stones, you know, or just come up with something that can show you like the where you can feel, or at least see how much you have already done and how much is left. I'm kind of already moving to my experience part, so I think that is it about the facilities. Before moving on to my experience, I just wanted to show you a little bit more of the facilities. So the room and the place where you wash your stuff is on the left, and so here basically you just go upstairs where the meditation hall located and some of the dormitories. You're not allowed to film in the meditation hall, so I'm not going to show it to you, but you know, it is there. While you're watching and enjoying the pretty view, I just wanted to say that probably since you're watching this on YouTube, you have already found the Vipassana discourse videos on YouTube, but I don't recommend you watching them. I saw that there are these videos on YouTube before my Vipassana, but I haven't watched them, and I'm so glad I did not, because these videos, they are like theory, and your meditation there is like practice, and when they go together, it is actually very nice. And if you just watch them now, it will be kind of like a waste of time, but when you watch them there at the end of the day and you felt all of that stuff that he's talking about, you're just like, wow, this is like so cool, you know. This is us on our way out. This part wasn't shown before because it was behind the fence, and this is where the men stayed. so we're not allowed to go here. The view is very pretty, and I really like how all the buildings are white. It kind of gives me Greece resort vibe, you know. I'm going to talk about my very subjective experience now, so if you're doing Vipassana anytime soon, please turn off the video right now so you don't have any unrealistic expectations. Thank you. You know, and before I start talking about my experience more, there are a few questions that I ask my followers on Instagram, and I would like to answer them here. Let me find it. Here. So, the first question is, what is the silent retreat for? So the main idea is that it is for dealing with some of the suppressed emotions that you have. The whole idea is that we often suppress so much stuff, you know, and we try to get distracted by work, by outside world, by our phones, whatever, to not feel and to not deal with these emotions, you know. And when there's nothing else to do except meditate and deal with the stuff that you've got, you just have to, you know, you have no choice but to deal with it. And also the idea that is promoted there is to live good life, you have to send positive vibrations into the world, and then positive vibrations will come back to you, you know. What that means is just try to do small good stuff, you know. It's not just kind of like trying to weirdly ritually do some kind of stuff. No, just try to do good things that make you feel good, not in terms of like addictions, like some drugs or some like destructive stuff, but in terms of doing good stuff for other beings, you know, like to the animals, plants, or even other people, and then good stuff will come back to you. This technique is also from the Buddhism, and you know, in the Buddhism they believe in karma and reincarnation. So they really believe that all the bad stuff that happens to you is because of the karma from your past life. And but it's not like very religious, you know. They just kind of mention it so you understand it better. If you don't want to like understand it in this way, whatever, don't, just forget it, you know. Anyway, but the better you live this life, the better your next life will be, kind of stuff. And it's not only about the afterlife experience, it's also in the present life experience, you know, like the better things you're gonna do for other beings, the better things are going to come back to you. So yeah, this is the main idea, to deal with your suppressed emotions, to let go, just to be more free and more happy, you know what I mean? Another girl says, how does it help? I cannot be silent even when I'm home alone. This is another hard part. I'm also a very social person, you know, and I like chatting. Well, I cannot say that I chat to myself when I'm at home, but I have a puppy, so I would talk to him sometimes, or to a plant, or to an insect that I'm trying to catch, you know. And even outside, I really like this kind of small talk stuff, you know. And it is hard. It is hard to be quiet. But by the end of the, not by the end of the course, but by a day like 7 or 8, you just kind of so get used to it, and it kind of feels good. Because the guy in the video also says, whenever you speak, you will lie, you know. Not that like you will lie on purpose, but you will exaggerate some stuff and stuff like this. And this is so true, actually. And when you don't have to worry about, oh, what am I gonna say? How am I going to like put it and whatever? It's just so easy, you know? Next question is, could you write or read? No, you cannot write or read anything. No drawing, like you cannot create anything, you know, and you cannot get any information like reading or listening to something. It's just you and your thoughts. Sounds crazy, sounds scary. It is kinda, it kinda is, you know, it kinda is. Next one is, what is the most difficult part of it? I'm gonna talk about it a bit later. Another question is, what to do with your thoughts, where do they go, you know, how to deal with them. Again, this is the main idea, as I mentioned earlier, that often we just get distracted because we don't want to think about this situation or that situation. We just get distracted, and that helps, you know. But the more we suppress, the likelier these things are to blow up one day, you know, in some kind of big volcanic eruption kind of stuff, you know. So it's better to deal with that stuff now, you know. And now I'm gonna slowly move into my experience and then answer the questions like what was the most difficult part was and stuff. So on the first day when we arrived, it was very like exciting, you know, because I'm just like, okay, retreat, Vipassana thing, I'm gonna be so enlightened, I'm gonna be a new person, oh my god, so exciting. And even though I say that do not watch and listen to other people's experiences, of course I did. I asked all the people who took it, like in my circle of friends, and then I watched all kinds of videos online because I just wanted to know what to expect. And this was a mistake because, as I said, everybody's experience is different. What was I expecting? As like people shared, so you go to the Vipassana, you meditate, and then you just kind of cry, you burst into tears, and then all of the stuff gets released, and then you're a new person, and life is so good, and you're gonna be a millionaire, and the job is gonna be good, and love life is gonna be good, and you're gonna be healthy and everything. So like a magic kind of stuff. Of course that did not happen, you know, like you cannot just spend 10 days meditating and then just fix all of the problems in your life. That doesn't work this way. You still have to work, even after the course. But that was what I was expecting, you know. So on the first day they do like the orientation, and I'm just like, okay. So I mean, not the first day, day 0. Then the first day, waking up at 4, I'm like very enthusiastic. I'm just like, okay, let's go to the meditation hall, meditate. Wow, breakfast, meditation, lunch, meditation, tea time. Wow, it was so exciting. And the day went actually, I don't want to say fast, but it was like full of emotions because everything was new, you know what I mean? But I gotta say, the first day, on the orientation day, when we went to the meditation hall and we like sat to start meditation, the first thing, like he plays the audio of the guy who gives us the guidance, and the first thing that we hear is like, I was like, what? Literally like, I was like, what is this thing? What am I doing here? Why did my friend recommend me do that? Oh my goodness, this is so crazy, you know. It was funny at first, but like later he started talking and he kind of started chanting and stuff, but it was so funny. And later on I talked to the girls who were my roommates. They said I felt the same way. I just literally started laughing at that moment. Anyway, so the first day, very exciting. The second day, it was a little bit harder to wake up, and then you kind of do things and you're like, okay, do we really have to do that? Is it really necessary? Why am I not bursting into tears and stuff? But to be honest, on the second day, I was doing the meditation, and the first 3 days you focus on your breath, your respiration, and I was just focusing on it, and I kind of anyway, I was focusing on the respiration, and I felt this kind of tension in my body that kind of rose from the bottom to the top, and then I started crying, but it wasn't just like it was just like tears going down, and I started breathing faster and harder, you know what I mean? And at this moment it felt so good, honestly, because all of the, like here I still felt tension because of the crying, but all the body down, it felt so light, and it just kind of like sunk into the cushions, you know, in this meditation cushions and stuff. And I was like, oh my god, this is what you're talking about, because it felt like really, really good, you know. And I was like, okay, since I opened like this path of crying, every day when I come to the meditation, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry so hard. I'm gonna release all of these suppressed emotions and whatever. I'm gonna be like a new person, you know, as I mentioned earlier. So the third day, the meditation started, and I'm just like, okay, I'm ready to cry. I'm ready to cry. Yeah. Now was good. No, nothing was happening, you know, not even a little bit of feeling of whatever. And I got a little bit frustrating, especially when we're meditating and it has been about like hour and a half or even 2 hours into the meditation. And one lady, she starts like breathing heavily, you know, and then she bursts into tears like really loudly and kind of like, this kind of stuff. And I felt a little bit jealous. I was like, yes, that's what I want. I just want to burst into tears and just release all that stuff, you know? And I was like, okay. So this is the third day. Maybe from tomorrow, we're all going to be just like, everybody's going to be crying. Why did I have this expectation? Especially because maybe you will watch this video of that guy as well, since you're watching all of that stuff before your Vipassana. He said that by the day 8 or 9, everybody was weeping like a babies, crying, not even ladies, a man as well and stuff. And this is what I was expecting, you know, every single day, which did not happen, which was very frustrating actually, because I'm just like, I came here for that and this is not happening. But actually this crying stuff, it's not the idea, because all of that stuff can be released in a different ways. You know, some people, they would get some pain in the some parts of their body. Some people, they would start sweating and stuff. So tears is not the only thing that gives you this like release of these emotions. So yeah, then I would say 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th days, they were the hardest. On one of these days, I was even like, you know what? I think this stuff is not for me. I mean, this is for this like weird yogi people, whatever, you know? I mean, I'm just gonna go home. Yeah. But the reason why I did not, because I have already booked the tickets for like the Sunday, let's say, right? And this is like Monday. And I will just like, so if I go now, what's my plan? I can change the ticket, which is gonna be pretty expensive, you know. Probably my Sunday ticket will be expired, or they'll refund me just a little bit of money. And to buy tickets for today, it's gonna be also very expensive because the time is very short. I was like, fine, why not have fun for this 7 days in Hong Kong? It's a really nice city, there's a lot of stuff to do. But then I'm just like, Hong Kong is very expensive. I mean, to rent an apartment, it will be like 300, at least 300 Hong Kong dollars, or like I'll put the oh my god, what do you call it, the exchange rates here. And then I was like, okay, to eat once you'll have to pay at least 100 Hong Kong yuan, Hong Kong dollars, I mean. And I was like, I counted and I was like, I'm gonna stay. Just, you know, I'm already here, let me just stay, you know, this kind of stuff. And another thing, of course, I didn't want to feel like a failure, because like I already came here, I already started it. And actually this thing with the steps that I mentioned earlier, it helped a lot, because I could kind of just like visualize like, okay, I have already done this much and I have this much left, you know. It was very very useful. What else? So yeah, day 3, 4, 5 and 6, they were the most difficult. I talked to other students later, they said the same thing. It was super hard, and especially we saw some people leaving, you know. I know that at least 3 ladies left. I'm not sure about men, but at least 3 ladies left. And then we found out that one lady came with a son. The son didn't like it, decided to leave, so they left together. Another girl didn't take her meds. Another thing, take your meds with you. I mean, if there's some prescribed medicine that you take for some kind of chronic disease or whatever, for some kind of condition, take them, because I think there was another man who didn't take his medicine. So one of the guys shared that he was his roommate, and this guy couldn't stop coughing, and then on like one of the first days they had to call ambulance for him, and they took him to the hospital, you know. So be careful with that. Take some stuff that you will need, and mention it before you come there, you know, to the managers and whatever. Yeah, but after day like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, they just kind of went by so fast. First of all, because you already get used to this routine. Second of all, because you already kind of understand how this meditation stuff works, you know. And the third thing I would say, you're already excited that this thing is getting to the end. You know what I mean? It's just like the, I don't know, last 15 or 10 minutes of the class, when you're just like, okay, you're thinking about the break and what you're gonna do and whatever. So the same thing here. The experience was good, but I was honestly so ready to go home, really, to go home, because it is hard. It is hard, but it is good, I think. On the very last day, like on day 10, not very last day, on the day 10, they allowed us to talk, and like we spent a lot of time talking with the girls, with their roommates especially. And then on the last day, we went to the beach together, ate together, and then it was time to go to the airport. When you will be going there, if you will be driving from the airport, you can take, like you'll be probably taking a bus, and a few stops before it's called Checkpeak police station, before your terminal stop, you will see that there's some beaches, you know. If you don't have time to go there before the Vipassana, go there after, you know, because it's very near, and I feel like it's really cool to feel the nature after this like 10 days course and stuff. What else should I say? People were very nice there, all of them. They're volunteers. This stuff is free. The only thing you can do is give a donation at the end of the course. And yeah, it was good. So for me, answering the question, the hardest part would be waking up at 4. It was hard. Not talking to people, it also was hard. And sitting for 10 hours a day and meditating, dealing with your thoughts, is also not easy. You know, I talked to one of my friends. She would say, I would just like meditate, and after some time, just some random thing would come into my mind, you know. And if this thing come into your mind, some memories or maybe some things that you're thinking about in the future, they are important. They are not just random stuff, you know. And if they come up, that means you are suppressing suppressing them inside your soul. I've been speaking for 40 minutes. I already struggle a little bit. Anyway, and if they come up, it's good, because the idea of the meditation is that when you meditate, some things might appear in your body, like an itch or a pain or some kind of feeling, you know, some kind of sensation. So you just have to not ignore it, but observe it, kind of thing, you know. When you're meditating, you feel an itch or a pain in the shoulder. You don't ignore it, you don't hate it, you're just like, okay, there's a pain. Let me see what kind of pain it is, and let me see where it spreads, you know. And when you start observing it, you just kind of know it's not just the pain in the shoulder. You just feel like, oh, here's the center of the pain, and here I feel it less. Oh, here's no pain already. Okay, let me see, what do I feel here? Okay, it feels like heat. It is like a little bit tingling, and like the more you observe it, the more you are okay with it, the more it loses its power over you. You know what I mean? And you train your mind to do that stuff on your body, you know. it's not that later in life when you get an itch you cannot like scratch and you're just like, oh, I'm observing you and stuff, you know. No, it's for you to deal with other things, you know, when you're feeling unhappy or stressed or whatever. You don't just try to distract yourself. You're just kind of, oh, when I'm stressed, I am feeling uncomfortable in my stomach. Let me see what kind of feeling it is. Is it like heat? Is it like pain? And where does it spread and stuff? And it really helps, honestly. And on the last day also they teach you the meditation of love kind of thing. That's when you kind of build up all of this positive energy in you and you just share it with the world, you know. You just kind of try to think about people you love and people you don't love, some people who struggle and whatever, and you just send them this love and this positive thing. And another thing, I'm like pretty skeptical person, you know. I would be just like, positive vibration and stuff, I mean, sounds weird, you know. But one thing, oh, it gives me goosebumps now, you really feel that. I mean, we had a teacher, he is also from Hong Kong, and oh, he's the nicest guy. I'm so sad that there was no time to just kind of communicate with them, to know more what he does and stuff, because he just kind of kept himself to himself. He would teach us and then leave, and on the last day he also wouldn't stay with us to like chat and whatever. But first of all, you know, there are some people who you look at and then they just give you comfort, or they just put you in a good mood and stuff. And there's some people who you like, who enter the room and everybody gets so tensed and unhappy and whatever, and you really feel it on the physical level, you know. It's not about what they say or what they do, it's just their existence, you know, that makes the difference. And there were a few times when we were able to meditate with a teacher together, and we would just come closer. I think batches of 5 people would come and go, so we would sit together. He would ask like how we are doing, and then we would meditate together. And you literally like physically can feel some kind of energy flow, you know, this kind of feeling when you know, when there is a big bell and you bang this bell, and then it gives the sound like ding, and then after sound, this is kind of like ding, this kind of stuff. You still kind of feel this kind of like vibration, you know what I mean? Or when you're on the concert and you're standing like near the speaker and something is very loud, you just kind of like feel it, you know. So with a teacher it was the same, and I asked other girls, they said they felt the same as well. When you were sitting next to him, you really feel this like flow, you know. And I don't know how to explain, because again, I'm very skeptical, and usually when I hear such stuff, one part of my brain is just like, for real? I mean, come on. And but I felt it, and it was good, you know, it was nice. Another thing, answering the question about what was the most difficult part, on day 3 or 4, I think, when I went to bed, I had a bad dream. Like, I kept having nightmares the whole night, and like that somebody will come and kill us all, you know. And it developed like it was like a snowball in my head. So one thing led to another, and I was just like so worried and so stressed, because like you cannot text your family, like anyone, so you don't have your phone for the whole 10 days, no matter what happens, you know. But I asked my boyfriend, if something happens, just call them on the reception so they'll let me know. And so on that day I started thinking that something happened to my family in Kazakhstan, to my boyfriend, to my dog, to my friends, and I just kept imagining all this horrible stuff that could have happened to them, you know. So I went to the teacher to talk to him after lunch, and I started crying, you know. He was like, hey, how are you? I'm just like, everybody's dead, oh my god, I'm so stressed, and I don't know, I have to go home, whatever. He was like, that's okay. He gave me some tissue and he was like, we're all gonna die. I mean, you're gonna die, I'm gonna die. So what's the point to worry about that? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, so the main idea is not to worry about things that will happen in the future or will not. Well, death will happen inevitably, you know, so why worry about it if it will happen anyway? Just enjoy the moments that you have here and now. Even this moment, you and I talking, you know, just enjoy it. And I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense, you know. I cried a bit more after I left to just kind of let it out, but he says like, never cry just to cry. Still try to focus on your respiration and then kind of let it go, not just like crying for the sake of crying. But on the second day, during the lunch, you can sign your name to go and see the teacher for the interview. On the second day, like after this crying incident with the teacher that everybody's dead, during the lunch, the lady manager comes up to me and she shows that my name is written for today's interview. I was like, I didn't write my name. She said, the teacher wrote, like the teacher wants to see you. And I'm like, why? And she was like, I don't know, just go see him. And there was still 45 minutes before I could go see him. This 45 minutes were a torture, you know. I was like, okay, yesterday I told him that I'm worried about my family and maybe they checked somehow, or maybe my boyfriend called and something happened. And I just started thinking all the horrible stuff again, you know, about my family, my mom, my dad, my brother, his wife, their children, my boyfriend, like everyone, you know. I just imagined like they're being hit by the car, a war starting, they're eaten by an elephant, like some crazy stuff, you know. They're just like, yeah. So this 45 minutes, I was like, okay, like why did he call me and stuff? So I enter the room, and he's like the sweetest, the calmest person. He's like, hi, like, how are you doing? And I'm like, oh my God, I started crying. I was like, oh my God, what happened? Like, why did you call me? Something happened, blah, blah. And he was like, no, I just wanted to see how you're doing after yesterday and stuff. I was like, I don't know, I felt so weird because this 45 minutes, I was just kept thinking about this horrible stuff when the only thing he wanted to do just ask me how I was doing. And he also asked me not to lean on the wall during the meditation, because honestly, you just fall asleep. If you feel too comfortable, lean on the wall or take this like chair. You just get too comfortable, you fall asleep. So it's better to stay focused with your back straight. It really helps you. So yeah, this was one of the hardest parts and days. That is it. I also took some videos that I wanted to include in the beginning of the video that I forgot, but I will. When I'll be editing, I'll include them to show you the facilities and stuff. The place where everything is happening is honestly very beautiful. And I feel this video is a little bit too long. Yeah, but who cares? Probably the only people who will watch it, some of my friends who wanna hear about my experience, or some other people who are going to take the Vipassana course, so whatever. So yeah, that is it. If you still have any questions, feel free to comment and I'll answer them. Yeah, because I think the experience is good, even though I told you that there are some things that were hard and difficult. It is good. And it's been like, what, today is Thursday. I came back on late Sunday, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days. I feel like they recommend to meditate 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening after the end of the course, but it feels like there's no time for that. I don't know. I asked other girls, they also said like it feels hard. And another thing that I think you should remember, or know at least, that after the course, at least that's the case for me and for 6 of my roommates, you feel so tired after that. and you feel like all of your senses are super overwhelmed, you know. And for me, I feel like there are so many things that I need to be done, and it is very overwhelming and tiring, even on the physical level. But I guess it's mostly because like you keep yourself in isolation. As they say, you live as a monk or a nun for this 10 days. And going back to real life, it's a bit overwhelming, but they say it passes with time. Another thing I didn't mention is food. They serve vegetarian food, which is good. We had the Malaysian cook. He was nice, and later we were able to see him, like the cutest guy. Is this kind of like giving you dad vibe, you know what I mean? Very, very cute one, dad or grandpa. So yeah, that's it. Again, if you have any questions, feel free. I mean, it was 1 hour, like a podcast, you know. I'll also try to include the videos that I mentioned into the beginning of the video, or maybe at the end, whatever. So yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for listening. If you got to here, it was a long time, but I'm very happy to share my experience. And yeah, bye.